So this is the way we look at Gemba. Those guys on Gemba, they can make or break the company. But actually, on the other hand, what they are doing is the result of what management has been doing. So Gemba, as I was saying earlier, Gemba is like a mirror that reflects the quality of the management. Go to Gemba is a very popular phrase you keep hearing. Because if manager is sitting behind the desk and waiting for the report to come to him or her, that is not the reality. It is what we call fabricated data. Because somebody was there, not you. And this person saw what happened in his or her own judgment, made a conclusion, and sent a report to you. It is already fabricated. But if the manager takes the trouble to go to Gemba right away and have a good look, you are right in the midst of the reality. You don't need any fishbone chart or Pareto chart. What you see is data. And oftentimes, you can make decisions, right? Based on what you see. And that's the beauty of going to Gemba. And, I have to, sorry. I took out my, yep. Once we had a consultant, Indonesian consultant, who are working as a consultant, and he used to work for the joint venture between Toyota and Indonesian automotive company. And as a young engineer, he was sent to Toyota's plant for training. And he told me his personal story. On the very first day of his learning, he was assigned to one of the supervisors in the plant. And this guy took him to the corner of the plant in the morning, the first thing. Then this guy had a chalk in his hand. And they selected somewhat the higher spot in the factory. And this guy drew up a circle on the floor and said, "Hey, Cristiano, you stay in that circle, don't move till I come back." And he was gone. This is his first exposure to the training in Toyota on the very first day. So, poor Cristiano had to stay in there and start to look around. And then very soon she got bored. Then she got angry. All the way traveling from Jakarta to come to Tokyo. And as an engineer, he was expecting that at Toyota, first thing they do is give him the latest textbook on the production engineering. And then they'll be shown into the big conference room. And several doctorate degree holders will come in and tell him all the latest development in production engineering, production control. None of those things happened. It was so shown into the Gemba, and he had to stay inside the circle and look around. So he got angry and said, "Why does he do this to me? Does he want to show his superiority?" And after a while, he came back and took him to his own room and started to ask him many questions. Did you notice how often the people may be walking away from their workstations? What did you see in terms of the material movement? Did you see any machine out of control? But to most of the questions she was unable to answer because she was there looking at, but she had no criteria to look at. The Kaizen practices. Doesn't even know the 5S. So she was very ashamed. Then the guy said, well, this is a way every engineer who joined Toyota have to go through. If you don't really understand what goes on in Gemba, how can you be helpful? And this practice was actually started out by Mr. Ono. And every time he walks through Gemba, and I realized that the supervisor isn't really up to date what's really going on. He will grab the neck of the supervisor, bring him over to the site, and he drew the circle and said, you stay in there and have a good look, and don't move out of it till I come back. That was Ono's way. And this practice is still maintained among all Toyota plants and Toyota Group companies. This is a very important tool, Kaizen tool. And if you go to Gemba, make a circle, stay in there for 5 minutes, you will be able to see so many things if you concentrate looking at it. And we say Gemba is your best teacher. We also have a saying that in Gemba, the gold ingot is buried for you to dig out. Gemba is the most precious place in management.